Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saves View, the channel for Southampton content for our match preview ahead of Southampton's home game against Wolves on Saturday. They're the most informed team in the league at the moment besides Liverpool. Can they continue the fantastic run that they're on and get another 3 points this time against Wolverhampton Wanderers at home? It will be a tough game, of course, and we've got Wolves fan and vlogger Finners, who's been on the channel before, to give us some insight on all things Wolves at the moment, but that will come later in the video. First, make sure you are subscribed if you haven't yet already. Follow us on all of our socials, and let's get into the video. As always, we've got to look at Southampton's last game. For me, quite possibly the result of the season so far. A 2-1 win away at Leicester. High-flying Leicester, who are still third in the Premier League. You know, they're a very good side and they've been fantastic this season. And I think we played them off the park, to be honest. For the majority of the match, arguably the whole 90, we were on top. Their goal came against the run of play. And then, thank God, we equalised pretty soon after. And then it was just a case of when we were going to score. We were creating so many chances. It did seem that potentially it wouldn't be our day, especially when Long's penalty shout was called away by VAR. But then the man in form steps up, Danny Ings, cool, composed finish, past Kasper Schmeichel, and wins the game for Southampton late on. Unfortunately, I was not there, but I'm so happy for the boys. They're doing so well at the moment, and it's like, you know, it's ridiculous. I still can't really understand how it's happened, given how we looked sort of, what, a month ago? It was about that, a month ago when we lost to West Ham. We all thought, yeah, that's it, we're down. And the turnaround's just been exceptional. And the big thing for me is we've got to continue this, because if you look at the table, we're on 28 points, 4 wins away from that magic 40-point mark. You know, the sooner we get there, the sooner we're technically safe, and the sooner maybe we can keep pushing for a higher position, top half, Europe. Is it possible? Well, I've got a comment on how good the defence were once again at Leicester. Bednarek and Stevens are looking like a really solid partnership. Cedric, for me, quite possibly had his best game of the season. And, you know, now there's not as much worry about bringing players in. Of course we need to bring players in, but the links they're kind of quiet at the moment, so hopefully that can hot up over the next week or two. Stuart Armstrong also deserves a massive mention. I'm so happy that he got his goal finally, because he's deserved that for a while. He's been immense at times since he's come back into the side. And now we kind of know our best starting 11, and that makes us play better, I think. The team know how to play with each other. You know, they know their strengths, their weaknesses. And that's why we're now a good, strong, competitive team in the Premier League. And it's honestly so refreshing to be looking up the table instead of behind our shoulders. Of course, we've still got to do that because the league this season's been so tight, and 2 defeats can bring us right back down there or thereabouts. And so we just need to be focusing on ourselves and continue this form, keep winning, because whilst we're in good form, we've got to make the most of it, because it will stop. Surely it will stop. Surely we won't be in this good form sort of in March, April, May time when the season's coming to an end. Take advantage of it now, because we have got winnable fixtures over the next month, and just pick up as many points as possible, and who knows where we're going to end up. And speaking of position, even though last weekend's win felt just incredible, we're still 12th, but of course I would have snapped your hand off for that a month ago. However, we are very much in touching distance of the top half, it has to be said. Level on points with Everton and Arsenal, who are 11th and 10th respectively. So a win this weekend would also see us go level on points with Wolves, and surely results will go our way and we'll end up in the top half if we win on Saturday. And that will be the first time we've been in the top half since September, so it is very much long overdue. On to our opponent, Wolves. Now, again, I've been impressed with them. I think Nuno Santos is a very good manager. They've got very, very good players over in Wolves at the moment, and they are a top half team, if not higher than that, and will be competing for that 7th spot once again. However, they've had a mixed run in the league recently, it seems. They had a fantastic win against Man City, coming back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. But since then, they've just picked up the 1 point in their last 3 league games. I mean, they can be forgiven for losing at Liverpool, but then games against Watford and Newcastle, you'd probably expect them to win both of those, but they only picked up the 1 point. They also lost their FA Cup 3rd round replay last night, 1-0 defeat at Manchester United, and played a pretty strong side, so maybe fatigued players there against Southampton on Saturday, which could be a bonus for us. But for Southampton, they haven't actually got the best record against Wolves over the last couple of seasons in which they've been in the same league. However, the last 2 games against them have gone pretty well. It was a 1-1 draw at Molineux in the reverse fixture this season back in October, where Danny Ings scored early on in the second half, but Raul Jimenez's penalty equalised. There was a few VAR controversies in that game, if I remember correctly. And then before that, last April, they came to St Mary's and lost 3-1. We were excellent that day, very comfortable win. In the end, Wolves didn't offer that much, it seems. And a repeat of that on Saturday would be excellent. They have got a lot of players that I admire though. It's going to be a really tricky test. Moutinho, Traore, Neves, Jimenez up front, Doherty at right back, Patricio in goal. I think they've got an excellent squad. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one. They're no mugs, but they're not in the best form. We're confident in our ability at the moment. I do think we'll be winning it. And we'll get onto my prediction later, but first, of course, I'm no expert on Wolves, so I've asked Finners, who's a Wolves vlogger, to come back onto the channel like he did back in October to give us insight on what's happening at Wolves at the moment. Take it away, Finn.
Hello everyone, Finn here, coming to you from a very drizzly, miserable Wolverhampton, previewing this weekend's game. Looking forward to coming down to the South Coast. Hopefully you lot have got a little bit more sun than this. But yeah, Wolves Southampton. First question you've asked here about Wolves' form since we last met in mid-October. It's been brilliant. The last few games are really, we'll get onto that a little bit later, they've sort of been the dampener. But since then, I think we've reached 5th position at our peak point. We beat Man City, which ultimately was the turning point as well. Had some great results, had a lot of VAR along the way as well, so get your money on Wolves to have a VAR decision overturned, obviously negatively. But yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but mostly highs, and then now we've just seen a massive sort of oblivion at Alton Towers low. It's as you've asked in the second question, it's majorly down to having no players. I think after last night, another one bit the dust against Man United in the Cup replay, and I think we're down to 13 players now. So it's getting absolutely ridiculous. Nuno's saying we need signings. The fans are saying we need signings. We just need to, well, actually do it and sign some players. So yeah, it's definitely showing. Raul Jimenez, the main target man, he is looking so tired, unfortunately, because he's so good when he's on form. A few months ago, it probably would have been around October, actually, Mexico gave him a break. He didn't travel with Mexico. He had 2 weeks off. He went to Stonehenge with his girlfriend, went to cathedrals and stuff. Really random break, but, you know, whatever he wants to do. And he came back fit, firing, and we just need that Jimenez back again. We need a 2-week break, so I know there's that winter break coming up soon, so hopefully he'll get better then. But luckily for you, he's still really tired. The whole squad just looks tired. You've got João Moutinho in there. Is he 33, 34? Still got an engine on him, but yeah, they're looking tired, and it's not ideal. Obviously, we've had the Cup replay. I'd have rather have just lost the first time around, to be fair, last week, to save us having to play this game again, because obviously we've had no rest now. We played a full first team, and it's worrying. We haven't won in 5, and as for you guys, I think it was on the Football Ramble, actually, a podcast that I listened to. They said in your last 10 games, you've only lost 2. And in the previous 10 before that, you'd only won 2. So the turn in form has been absolutely unbelievable. And I'm sure you'll have experienced, like, as soon as you'd been beaten 9-0, I know you're probably sick of hearing about this, but every game after that, people have been going, Southampton's going to be a must-win, because they got beat 9-0, they got beat 9-0, but you've been playing amazingly, and especially Danny Ings. Well, I don't know how I haven't still got him in my fantasy team. My mum is absolutely smashing me on fantasy team, and it's basically all because of Danny Ings. A little bit embarrassing, but yeah, he didn't really have a sniff in the last game, but he got one minor whiff against Wolves and he took it. So that just shows how good of a striker he's been. I haven't been keeping an eye on much else, to be honest. I just keep seeing Danny Ings on my FPL. But yeah, the overall run of Southampton's been scary, and I am a little bit scared, to be honest. That whole trip that I'm making down to the South Coast, I don't think it's going to be worth it, if I'm honest. The main man to watch for Wolves at the moment is obviously Adama Traore. There's not much else going on in a creative sense in that Wolves team. It's very defence first, and then we worry about attacking. And our worrying about attacking is basically just kick it to Traore and let's see what he does. It's unbelievable how much better he's got. I think it's really poignant. Last season, when we played at your place, he gave you a goal basically by not knowing what offside was, played you all about 10 yards onside from a corner, and you scored. And that just sort of summed up his season last season, and he's been unbelievable this season. Honestly, how one pre-season has changed a player, it's ridiculous. He's so quick. We knew that for a long time, quick and strong, but now he's added that end product, and Wolves fans, honestly, he's God around at the moment. So look out for a goal or an assist at least. He's in my FPL. I know I keep bringing it back to FPL, but yeah, Adama Traore is definitely the man there. And for a score prediction, I'm going to say positive it's going to be 1-1. It's always 1-1 for Wolves, to be fair. So we maybe could get beat, but as soon as I'm making the trip down, 1-1, we'll concede first. We always do. I think in our last 7 games, we've conceded the first goal. That's a nice one to look out for. So we're probably going to concede first again, and then nice little comeback, get the goal, and I'll be happy with that. So best of bad luck to you guys. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, hopefully see you soon.
Thanks for doing that, mate. I will, of course, leave his link in the description below, but on to my prediction. You may not have picked up in the preview, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty confident for this one. I just think we're an excellent side at the moment. We're playing really good football, we're in great form, we're confident in our own ability, and Wolves, it's probably the best time to be playing them at the moment, you know, on the back of a hectic festive period. You know, they've had lots of fixtures already this season, more over the Christmas period wouldn't have helped. They haven't picked up many points over the last few weeks. I can see us winning this quite comfortably, actually by sort of 2 goals. And I think it's going to be a repeat of last season's game at St Mary's. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Saints win. I do think the defence are playing better, but Wolves are such a good side. You know, I think they're going to score. But personally, I think it's vital that we get to that 40-point mark as soon as possible. If we win this weekend, like I said, we go level on points with Wolves, and we're in contention for top half, maybe even top 8, maybe 7th. Who knows? If we keep this form up, anything can happen. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Make sure you've given it a like if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Follow us on our socials and let me know in the comment section down below what your score prediction is. Tune in tomorrow for our predicted lineup, but until then, take care and we'll see you soon.